Welcome back to one of my favorite sports podcasts, Preseason the Grace, with your host Trudeau and my guy, D Frizzy Frizz.
Hello and welcome back to Frizz in the Grizz. It's your boy Trudeau. Thank you for joining us live Tuesday. I know it's not your usual Monday. Tuesday, August 12th. If you're catching us live on Twitch or Facebook, we appreciate you. Make sure you follow that Twitch handle at dfrizzy_frizz5 or catch us on podcast next day, Apple, Spotify, all those good places. It's a great place to check it out. If you're just watching the show live, get bits and pieces, you want the whole thing, get us there, especially Spotify. You can watch the video. Great stuff. We are going to be talking football today. 'Tis the season. Training camp is gone. We're in the preseason. College football is ramping up. We're excited. It's our favorite time of the year. D, ain't that right, buddy?
Ain't that the truth? Christmas in August. We got football right around the corner. Life is good. Life is really good when it comes to I don't got to stress about watching baseball during the day. Like, I can gear a lot of my time to be like, all right, cool. This matchup is going to happen this Friday, or this matchup is going to happen this Saturday, or this game is going to be on Thursday. Like, we are a couple of weeks away to be able to watch football Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we kind of relax on Tuesday and Wednesday. But later into the year, action on Wednesday comes back, so we'll be good.
I got to start by asking D, you good, man? Because we usually do the show on Monday. My guy D sends me a text on Monday. I'm not feeling great, but I'm gonna be there today. I'm powering through. And then 3 hours later, I get a photo text of a thermometer. It's like 103. I'm like, bro, you good?
I almost died. No, didn't literally almost die, but dog, I've never felt this sick in my entire life. Lies. This is like the second worst sickness I've had, because the one time that I got COVID, like, I thought I was on my deathbed. And we were doing this show, and I think I said that same thing. I was like, dog, like, I think I'm gonna die. Like, last night was just rough. Yesterday afternoon was tough, but we powered through it. I still got the sore throat. Stomach isn't the best. Still a little foggy up here, but I want to talk some football, because all the information that we're going to go over is going to be irrelevant if we go over it next week.
Fair enough. This is going to be your flu game, this podcast.
Flu game, exactly. Fighting through it.
Bring that Jordan energy. I like that. All right, let's get right to it, because I know you're not feeling well. Let's get right into the sports stuff. All right, we're going to start today, little NFL preseason stuff, right? It's only one game, so there's not a ton you can take from that at this point, but we can loop in some training camp stuff as well. So just kind of like an early August look in the NFL landscape. D, so far, has anything stuck out to you that you want to discuss with the people?
I think the easiest thing that we could go to, and the number one topic that's been hot for a very long time, is Shedeur Sanders. Hear me out though. Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns. I'm not saying it as in like he's an all-pro player, but what's happening in Cleveland is he's starting to make people have to make tough decisions.
Okay.
Because he's winning over the team. I can send you plenty of clips of him just like having chats with people outside of Flacco. Flacco doesn't care about him, because like it's the young guy that might take his fucking job, but like he's winning over his teammates, where he's got people like Myles Garrett that are like on his side, like laughing and chumming it up on the sideline during a game. That's a big thing to have, right? Like that's huge. He looked, I'm not going to say he looked amazing, but he looked great on the week, this past weekend. He made plays that he needed to make for people to go, ooh, maybe he is better than we actually thought he is. And now you have to worry about, if you're Cleveland, like, am I rolling out the contingency plan, which was Joe Flacco as my starting quarterback to start the season? Dylan Gabriel, who didn't take a single snap, on I think it was on Sunday that they played. They played on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. Saturday. Dylan Gabriel didn't take a snap. They just brought in Huntley. Huntley looks like he has his entire career. He's not your starter. So, like, what Shedeur Sanders was able to do with the 130 he had in the air and the 2 touchdown passes, he proved that, look, put me in a situation where I can play with the ones and we have a really good chance of winning. It's just a preseason, so I'm not saying that's going to be like 5 or something like that. I'm saying he's making the right moves that make people in the front office go, crap, we actually have a tough decision to make now.
I was wondering where you're going to go with this conversation. I'm going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer on this.
That's fine.
Yeah, like he played well. He played very well on Saturday. And I will say, albeit against the twos, right? It's still NFL football.
Yes.
He looked like he did in college, which is a very positive thing. The first series, a little shaky, but that was every single rookie quarterback.
Yes.
This preseason first series is a little shaky. He looked good. It's definitely going to be difficult for them to evaluate the situation without Dylan Gabriel playing or Kenny Pickett. And I know Pickett's an afterthought, but he's still in the competition, right?
Mhm.
I'm very interested to see how games 2 and 3 go because all indications are that Pickett and Gabriel are back at practice. They're practicing again. They had hamstring issues, kept them out of preseason game 1. I think regardless of what happens, right, this is the battle for number 2. And I mean that as a short-sighted number 2 because I think regardless, Joe
They're
Flacco,
going to roll out Flacco. Yes.
he'll play a couple games, 3 or 4 games, and then they'll throw in the number 2, which honestly at this point very well could be Shedeur Sanders. I think the Browns will be wise to see how this plays out, and in the regular season, maybe throw out Gabriel first, only because hear me out in this one, right? If you think Shedeur is going to ultimately take the spot, you want to see what all of your guys have, right? They did dart throws in their quarterback picks this year. Throw out Gabriel. If he's not that guy, you'll know right away. And if Shedeur gets in there, game number 6, and clearly has the edge, you ride out with that the rest of the season. I think, though, all things being equal, though, excellent start by him, right? And I think, like you said, the biggest thing is like now we have to have a difficult conversation with Shedeur Sanders because he's putting himself in the minds of the coaches now. You cannot unsee what you saw on Saturday with Shedeur Sanders.
So go ahead. No, finish.
He's doing the right things. He isn't earning a job after one game, but he's making it a consideration, which is exactly what you need to do if you're Shedeur Sanders.
So I'm with you. Like I said, I'm not ready to point him as QB1. I'm not getting that. As much as I love Shedeur Sanders, I'm not ready to do that. I'm still going to be realistic. What I mean by it, and I think there's one thing that you left out with the whole Dylan Gabriel situation is, I said that Shedeur is winning the locker room. That is huge in the NFL, and you know this more than anybody. We all play college. We all play football. Like once your team starts to galvanize around a specific guy, like it really doesn't matter about their talent. A lot of times people like, we want him to play because he's going to live and he's going to die for us. That's what you're seeing on the sidelines with Shedeur Sanders. Like you're seeing interviews that people are having speaking highly of him. They ain't really speaking about Dylan Gabriel. Why? Because he's not out there. He is injured. He is hurt. Kenny Pickett, he's had 3 years, right? Joe Flacco, he's the grandfather of the group, right? Like he doesn't need to win the locker room. He's just going to go out there, collect his check. If they say, hey, it's time for you to sit, he's going to be like, all right, word.
Yeah.
And like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like you brought in Tyler Huntley to be like, oh, we got to have something as a backup while these other 2 are injured.
Mm-hmm.
Like the best case scenario happened on Saturday for Shedeur Sanders, where he can go out there and make people go, oh, crap, we have to make a decision at some point of who's going to be the anointed number 2, like you said, where we saw Dak Prescott take Romo's spot pretty goddamn early. We saw Russell Wilson win the starting job in the offseason after the Seahawks paid Matt Flynn $100 million. Like, it's not like it's outside of the realm of possibilities when you see something like this happen. Now, again, it is just one game, so I will pump the brakes on that. But if he comes out next week and they give him the first half to play and he does similar numbers, it's his spot to lose. Like there's no way that you can go into the regular season and have a dinged up Dylan Gabriel, a dinged up Kenny Pickett, Tyler Huntley, and Joe Flacco and be like, yep, we're sticking with just Flacco. No, there's no chance.
I wonder if the Browns will give Gabriel the first crack only because of the sunken cost of like, hey, we used a 3rd round pick on Dylan Gabriel. Let's give him a first shot over Shedeur. They might be dumb. On the Joe Flacco thing, I don't know if you saw when Shedeur threw that touchdown. Like there was a pan of Joe Flacco sitting next to Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun looked disgusted and distraught. And Joe Flacco just looked so happy. He's just like, hell yeah, that's my guy. Like Joe Flacco don't give a shit. He's like, I'm here. He knows the deal. He's like, I'm here first to start a couple games. I'll collect my paycheck on the bench. Maybe you'll trade me somewhere else after that. Like, I'm just here having a good time, man. I'm 40 years old. Who cares?
It's funny you said that because there was a meme that went around of like when you know you're about to lose your job, and it was the picture of Deshaun Watson just like I forgot he was even on the team. He'll never take another snap in a Browns uniform, but it's just like the fact that they have him in street clothes every single week, go out there, and they're just like, yeah, dog, like you'll never see in the light of day in the NFL ever again. Like it's sad for where he was, but like still funny at the same time when it comes to making memes in the world.
I feel zero sadness for Deshaun Watson.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying for his career, for where he was with Clemson and winning national championships to how he did with the Texans post that shit. I'm not saying I feel bad about it. I'm saying what he was as a football player.
Best case. So here's the best, worst, and medium case for the Browns going forward. Best case scenario, Shador takes the job and he looks great. And we have at least a starting caliber quarterback that we drafted in the 5th round, I think.
Yep.
5th or 6th round. Worst case scenario for the Browns, Shador Sanders wins the job and he's just like okay-ish, and they finish with the top 6 pick and they're like, shit, what do we do now?
Yep.
What, like, you know what I mean? It's like we don't know for sure. And then medium case scenario is like everyone just doesn't pan out and they draft a top 3 guy, get like Arch Manning or something. Those are the scenarios.
That's the Browns. That's the Browns situation, though.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get tied up too much on
the flip side. I liked the Panthers against the Browns. Like, I know they didn't win the game. It's preseason. I thought Tedro McMillan, like, he looks like a really good fit for that offense. I really, 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 really believe that this year is set up to have
Bryce.
For Bryce to have great success. Because, like, they needed that kind of possession receiver to kind of complement some of the other guys they have, like Xavier Legette, like a speedster. This offense looks like it makes sense now for the Carolina Panthers.
So I think last year, the last like 5 games of the season, you could have to, QBR fact check me on this one, but it was like quarterbacks that had the best QBR. It was like Patrick Mahomes. I want to say it was Lamar Jackson, and then third was Bryce Young. The tail end of the season, which we caught, we were like, yo, he's playing actually pretty good. He got benched, right? He got benched. Dalton came in. And, they said that he met with a rapper, and like the rapper was like, get your shit together. That was the whole joke around it. And then Bryce Young came back, and like he's been on a tear, and he looked good. I'm not, again, it was 2 series, he's barely out there, but like the fact that you can drive down the field is if it's against 1s or 2s, he's still doing it. Drive down the field, throw a touchdown pass, get to the sideline, put your helmet off, and put this, the headgear on. Like that's he's doing what needs to be done for us to be for Carolina fans to feel comfortable going into the season, and still a very throw them up their division. It's the Bucs division to lose, but like who's to say that if this team can't stick to consistency with their running game? Obviously, Chuba Hubbard is a really good back. They have the offensive weapons around him when it comes to receivers. Defense is no slouch. Bryce Young could put together a decent season for themselves.
Did you catch any of the Titans-Bucs games, by the way, since you mentioned the Bucs?
I heard that the Bucs played well, but I didn't really watch the game.
I wanted to speak more on the Titans side. Like Cam Ward's, I don't know what his final counting stats were in the game. I can check right now. I don't think it was that great.
He had one play that was like, oh, okay.
5 for 8 for 67 yards. I think he played a series or 2. But Cam Ward, in the small sample that he did show, you were mentioning a play. Like, he looked very decisive, which was excellent. Like, he processed the decisions quickly. There was one play where it was like, I think it was a 5-step drop, gets back to 5 steps. He quickly looks to read number 1, notices the defensive coverage, skips over read number 2, and just immediately flings it to number 3. Like, it's an encouraging sign because he has all the physical tools for Cameron Ward that he's processing the game so quickly in his first preseason game. Again, like we talked about with Shador, first series was rough, but when he settled down a little bit, he looked really good. I have not high expectations, but like I have good expectations for like this might work out with the Titans with Cam Ward.
We just hope that he's got the pieces around him for success.
Fair.
Because Vrabel no longer being there, like the Titans organization had been a shit show prior, their shit show after, like gone are the days of like the Jeff Fisher getting them into the divisional playoffs. Like the Titans have been a laughing stock for a very long time. So let's hope that he's still surrounded by something that can help him out. Because even if he's doing what you're saying, processing information and making the right reads, like if he doesn't have talent around him, he's gonna struggle. And that's the part that is always gonna land on the quarterback's back.
Yeah, I mean the offensive line is still going to be an issue for Tennessee. They were pretty bad last year. I mean the skill guys aren't terrible, right? You have Tony Pollard at the back. He's again not
Over the hill.
over the hill. But Calvin Ridley is kind of a variable wild card because we saw his apex with the Falcons. Back before the gambling scandal and everything. He looked like he had a connection with Cam Ward. And they have like another veteran in Tyler Lockett. So like they have some guys that could help him out in his young career. I'm just like looking at his production on the field, like how he's processing though. It was definitely good signs.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I'll just make the one point because it was I didn't even talk about it, but the touchdown pass that Sanders had. Did you see the breakdown for that?
Which touchdown pass? The one that was going to the corner?
No, that was a good pass, but the one that was a slant, it was like a post over the middle.
Yeah. So there was a unblocked blitzing linebacker. He made his first read looks to the left. He saw the linebacker. He's like, I'm not going to have time. Does not panic, that's the thing. Like, and we're back to Shador, but like the reason why he had such a red flag is that number one, he held on to the ball too much, and number two, he showed the propensity to like when there is panic, I'm just gonna like get out of the pocket and do some video game shit. Like when you used to play like Madden 2006, you have Michael Vick, you're just all over the pocket. Like he would try to do that stuff. Did not show that in the example you're saying, touchdown pass number 2, right? He slid, let the back pick up the linebacker, and made an accurate throw, which is a very good sign.
The best part about it is you just talked about Cam Ward is the first read was the first slant. Once the second linebacker and the safety that was over the top went to that slant is when he threw it to the backside post. It's like that. Granted, there may not be that much time, right, in the pocket all the time, but the fact that he was able to make that read goes to show you, all right, like that's a great decision maker at the end of the day.
Can I tell you the rookie that impressed me the most over this past weekend?
Yeah, looking forward to hearing this one.
The New York Giants got someone, man.
Jackson Dart.
No.
Oh.
Did you see Abdul Carter play?
No, I didn't watch him.
Brother, he is going to be a fucking terror. Abdul Carter. He played, I think, one series, but he was lining up against the number ones on the Bills, like offensive line. Like he played against one-on-one against a very, very good offensive tackle. I forget his name, but I think he's been all pro before. Brother, he gave him a move and put him on his ass. This Giants defensive line, I don't know if the Giants will be any good this year, but this defensive line with the addition of Abdul Carter is going to be a nightmare to play against, especially in passing situations.
I'd have to go watch. I'm box score watching. When I say this, I see one tackle. If he made the move, but then like
the physicality.
I get that part. Yeah, I want my DNs to be freakish athletes. I get that part. If he, they said he was the best, right? Like when it comes to all of the who was it that came before him? It's Micah Parsons. I know LeVar Arrington was obviously there at a while ago. There was somebody else, but it's like all of these nasty linemen that came out of Penn State. And so I expect Abdul Carter to be just as damn good because they're saying he's better than them. And we know how goddamn good Micah Parsons is.
Yeah. And then I know you were wanting to mention Jackson Dart. He also played pretty damn well in the preseason.
Good. I clowned on him because I see it as, look, if you can, as much as like there's a big difference between NFL and college. So I'm not saying they're comparable, but the SEC conference is about as close to NFL comp as you can get, right? Because the talent from all of those teams, the teams that are playing amongst each other, they're usually NFL talent. So like you get a better look of somebody that's a quarterback for an Alabama going up against LSU versus you get for quarterback for UTEP going against Louisville.
Okay. I would say yes with Jackson Dart in respects to the speed of play, because that's one of the biggest transition is like going from college to the NFL. Things happen a hell of a lot quicker, especially at the
Window's
quarterback
closed.
position when it's all between the ears, right? It's processing. How quick can you process? The only thing that I would disagree with is that Jackson Dart played for Lane Kiffin in that Old Miss offense, and it's very gimmicky. That offense, it's a very limited playbook, right? It's a very very college esque playbook. So
I think you're making my point.
my point is that I think Jackson Dart is going to need a lot of time.
Okay,
to
so
get
we're on
rusty.
the same page. I wasn't saying that it was a great thing. I was saying that like it's good that he played okay, but to
Okay,
me, he didn't play the greatest in the SEC.
got you. My
And
bad.
that was I was like, you're agreeing with me. He didn't play. I don't think he played the greatest in the SEC. He still was, drafted in the first round. So like, I'm not saying he's bad, but there were games and seasons that he struggled in the SEC, and it's like that's as close to the NFL as you'll get. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm hoping for the best because he's a rookie quarterback. But at the end of the day, he did look decent. He made a really good deep pass. I can't remember who it was to, but I was like, "Ooh, good throw!" It's a hell of a I think it to the left corner. I was like, "That's a great pass." You usually don't make those right away, so it's good that he's at least taking them. Can't say the same for other rookie quarterbacks, but
We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, Jackson Dart to me of all the I mean, it's not a very great quarterback class coming this year. Like these rookies, he has the highest ceiling, lowest floor. Like he has so much variability because he does have all the tools, right? He has the big arm. He's athletic as hell. But it's a matter of like, can he process an NFL game? And I think the nice thing that Brian Daboll and the Giants did for him is they didn't try to force him to do too much, right? They know what he's good at, and they made him do what he is good at, so he didn't find himself in weird situations. I also like that they ran the ball a lot with him because if you think of Brian Daboll, he's the guy who made quote unquote made Josh Allen.
yep.
So they had him running quite a bit. I think they had a one quarterback draw in there as well. So like they plan on utilizing him that way. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I think it's going to be a very similar situation to the Browns where you'll see Russell Wilson start, and maybe like this is more of like a week 15 switch over to Jackson Dart, maybe, or maybe he doesn't start all this year. But who knows? But he is the heir apparent there in New York. It seems like
They don't need it right away because obviously they brought in Russie and
Jameis too.
I was going to say Jameis. You said designed run play. He didn't have a designed run play, but did you see his scramble for 12?
Nah,
Like
I
in the pocket, gets away from a defender, then scrambles up the left sideline and stiff arms the shit out of somebody. And it's just like that's Jameis Winston, man. Like you just never know what you're gonna get, but it's always entertaining at the end of the day.
Wasn't he the only quarterback or the first to do 30 touchdowns, 30 picks or something like that?
The only quarterback, not the first, the only.
Yeah.
It's not. It's That's how you recognize that as he's the only quarterback to do that.
And
And he's wearing like number 19. He's like got the ugliest number that they could have possibly get. Like they could have given him 21, and it would have looked better than him being 19.
Eating W's, man. You mentioned quarterbacks not playing well. I think we're bringing the hater hour. With this player, and I think we're talking about the same player. You know the Chappelle skit where it's like haters in the building, like the haters all come in.
Yeah.
That is you with JJ McCarthy, and that's where I thought you were going.
No.
Oh, okay. What quarterback are you about to hate on?
Let's do the Vikings because I did write them down. I know that when they played the Texans this weekend, right?
Yeah, he played one series, so it wasn't like a huge sample size again. I think with him coming off of that was an ACL injury last year. Coming off the ACL injury, they probably just wanted him to see some live action, see the bullets fly a little bit. And I assume they'll slowly ramp him up into the preseason. It wasn't overly impressive, but again, that's their approach. I know you're like a very anti JJ McCarthy, so that's where I thought you were going with it.
I wasn't gonna be against it. It's just like when do you know, right? Like at some point you gotta figure it out. If he's like they brought in Sam Howell. Not saying that Sam Howell is like the money maker, but like he played at Washington, so like he is a actual starting quarterback in the NFL. He's played starting quarterback snaps. JJ McCarthy hasn't. And at some point, I understand the injuries. Get you on that one. but at some point you have to roll him out and see what you have, because we're going to go into week 2. And if they do the same thing, people are going to be like, well, what is he as a quarterback? We haven't seen him play.
I think I have an idea actually of what they see in him as a quarterback. Do you want to hear my assessment?
Listen.
So based on the way they used him in the first preseason game, this is the first time we've seen him play, and like how they intend to use JJ McCarthy, the Vikings, that is. It's a lot of under center, play action, some boots, like a very old school pro NFL offense. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of shotgun. It's just like, I'm going to be under center. We're going to run some I. We're going to run like 2 tight ends, that sort of thing. And then thinking back to his college days in Michigan, it's very similar, right? They had an excellent offensive line, excellent run game. I think that JJ McCarthy's ceiling, like the best version of JJ McCarthy, if it hits every potential, is an Alex Smith type player. A game like a
High ceiling.
It's a high ceiling, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, that's if he hits the tippity top of his ceiling, he's not going to be a Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be a Lamar Jackson. He's not going to be special in the sense of like, this guy is incredible. He's going to carry us to a Super Bowl. But Alex Smith is like a very cerebral, top echelon game manager, knows the game, not going to make mistakes. Like, that is probably the vision for a JJ McCarthy, in my opinion.
Again, I think that's a high ceiling. I'm not ready to throw out the comp when it comes to it.
I'm not saying he's going to be Alex Smith, but like,
right.
Everything hits.
His track got harder though. That's the issue, because we just got the update with Jordan Addison. He's suspended for the first 4 games of the season.
Yep.
Jed is injured, which fantasy owners be wary on this one this year. And who knows what you're going to get out of Aaron Jones, right? So like it's not like he's surrounded by talent that's going to bail him out. He's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So what you were just saying is fine if you're going to try to replicate the offense that you had when you were at Michigan, but he had one of the best defenses in the history of college football on the other side of him, where like he could take risks if he needed to. And then he had one of the better coaches in the history of college football in Jim Harbaugh to make sure that he didn't make dumb decisions, right? He doesn't have that here. Like he's not going to have as talented as a wideout group because of the injury and suspension. And you got an older Aaron Jones. So like he might take on more responsibility, which again, we have to see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, it might be shaky off the start if there are issues with Justin Jefferson getting on the field. I think he'll be fine for the regular season. And Addison, like, okay, you're going to lose him for a couple games. He'll come back. But to dismiss Kevin O'Connell, who I don't know if he won Coach of the Year last year, but he was at least a runner-up for Coach of the Year. He's a very, very good coach, and he's specifically tailored offensively. Like, is he supposed to be an offensive guru? I mean, look what he did to Sam Darnold last year, right? And Kirk Cousins before that. Like, this guy knows how to make an offense work. So, like, I think there are the building blocks there to bring him success. I don't think he's Alex Smith. I'm not saying that JJ McCarthy is Alex Smith, but I'm saying if he hits his apex, that's the type of player I envision him being.
Fair. Very fair.
Who was the quarterback that you were down on? Oh, was it the Saints? You going to the Saints?
When we've already talked about
you are
the Saints being the worst team in the NFL. I think there was some like a guaranteed stamp of approval with this past game. Spencer Rattler is not it. Nope. Tyler Shuck, I think is what I heard them say on the radio plenty of times. Not show.
I heard it was Shuck. Yeah, you were saying show.
Yeah. I was saying show, and then I was listening to it when I was mowing the lawn, and they were saying Tyler Shuck. No, look, he had a
SHOUGH.
I don't understand it either, but I'm not asking.
There's no okay. There's no CK in there.
Nah, but it's the way his mama named him Shuck, so we're gonna call him Shuck.
Okay.
Like
he's gonna suck for you guys. How's that?
He's not. He made. So I had to message some guys. I was like, hey, look, if we're gonna dink and dunk the whole season, scrap the year. And then he just finally takes a shot down the field, pick 6 the other way. Like, all right, like hopefully we can rebound from this. Now he does throw a nice like 50-yard touchdown pass. Granted, I think the guy that caught it, it was Mason Tipton. There wasn't a defender within 30 yards of him. And he still had to slow down to catch it. So, like, it's not like he hit him in stride. It just happened to be a blown coverage in preseason football where the closest guy was 30 yards away, and he had to turn around to catch the ball and then run into the end zone. So it's like, while we're evaluating all of these other quarterbacks that look good, they look decent. Again, it's the first game. You look at this quarterback room with Shuck, Rattler, and Jake Haener, who's like the seasoned veteran. It's Jake Haener. Like, the Saints are in trouble. They are in a lot of trouble under center. Whereas I don't know what you'd get out of Alvin Kamara because of this. Their receiving core is, again, Olave. I already talked about him. I don't know how healthy he is with his brains being scrambled. Rashid Shaheed, he wants to be a number one, but he's not. I just think that it was scary to see. It's just preseason, but it was scary to see how inept that offense was week one. Like, there are teams that are – Justin Fields looked better than everything that we lined up with this past Sunday. And that's not a good thing. Like, I'm not taking a shot at Justin Fields, but, like, Justin Fields he looked decent in a Jets uniform. I can't say the same for any quarterback that was in a Saints uniform on Sunday.
Are you ready to get the paper bag and bring that back for the Saints fandom?
Yeah, it's bad. It's going to be a bad, rough season.
Honestly, though, I would view it from like a basketball perspective, where if you're going to be bad, just be fucking god awful and get that number one pick, because you can change this whole thing around with like a franchise cornerstone quarterback that you could have in a Saints uniform for 10, 12 years, which would be nice considering what you're dealing with now.
So there's no guarantee of me being on this rock tomorrow. I don't want to waste 365
grim, man.
I don't want to waste 365 days of just disappointment on Sunday afternoons. Like, every day, every Sunday at 4:05 or 4:25 when the Saints kickoff, and I'm done watching the morning games, and like the girls are getting up from their nap. Like, I want to be able to sit back and be like, all right, cool. Let's roll out a decent product. Not, that defense tried to do their best, but they lost 27-6. It's just gonna be ass kicking the entire season. I can see it coming.
Two other takeaways from that game. I don't know how much you probably watched most of it because you're a Saints fan. Trey Lance, like, hey, is he back? I don't think
Trey Lance looked like an All-American.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It was funny because like the announcers were like, I think the offensive coordinator for the Chargers was somewhere with the Ravens last year, and they were like,
Greg Roman, I think.
Yeah, it's Greg Roman. Yes, and they were like, yeah, like he can learn from like Lamar Jackson, and then he sprints for 20 yards from the left sideline. They were like, oh, it's Lamar Jackson. Like, I'm like, they got Trey Lance. Like, what? Can we not have something like that? Like, he's a castaway. Trey Lance.
You remind me of what's that meme? It's like, can we have McDonald's? And the mom goes, we got McDonald's at home. You're like, can we get a quarterback? And they look at you like, we got quarterbacks at home.
Oh my
Tyler
God.
Shuck and Spencer Rattler. By the way, also, this is the first time I've realized, just now looking at the box score of that game, I didn't know DJ Ugalele was in the league.
DJ Uiagalelei, yes. He had a decent pass up the left sideline. Like, Trudeau, when I tell you there was nothing, like, I'm mowing the lawn angry. Just like, fucking Trey Lance is the one that's making this run. And then DJ, you need to find a job somewhere. Like, he's making passes. And I got Tyler Shuck throwing pick sixes, Spencer Rattler throwing everything that's 5 yards or less, and then Jacob Haener, who's just like puffing a cigarette on his way out to the field. It's like, how did we get? Somebody said that I would take Drew Brees in his left arm right now over everything that we have in the quarterback room.
In his noodle arm.
And I would no left arm, not even his right arm. Give me a left-handed Drew Brees over everything that we have in the locker room right now. That's how bad it is.
I cannot wait for this NFL season, because if the Saints are going to get you this ornery in preseason game 1, we are in store for some rare D this football season. I recommend this to you, D. Okay, do not watch any more preseason football. And I say this because you're going to watch so many second and third string quarterbacks play that you're like, damn, I wish they were a Saint.
How don't we have that?
Oh my God. Just like, let's just do a couple random takeaways also, just to wrap this up. Did you see the kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Little?
70-yard field goal?
He didn't set the record because it was a preseason game, but nailed a 70-yard field goal. That's insane.
That's bananas. Like, hold on. I don't think this was outdoors too, right?
Yes.
Outdoors, 70 yards. Like, for those that don't know perspective, so you give 10 yards for being in the end zone, right? So that means he lined up at like the 45. Like, the opposite 45-yard line, kicked a 70-yard field goal. That's fucking nuts. So kudos to you for having the balls. I mean, it's preseason, so like I don't know if anybody would do that in the regular season, or do I think that the opposite field goal rush team isn't going to give effort to try to block it? You know what I'm saying? But like, he still did it. Like, it gets to go on his YouTube channel, so good for him.
That's wild. That's wild. I can't wait to see that record get broken in the regular season. Kickers now are just like insane.
They're really good. Kickers in the NFL. College kickers absolutely suck, but
I'm trying to think what else were some major points that I wanted to bring up. I think that may be it, unless you got something.
I got the Eagles and Landon Dickerson. I don't know how important it is or what his timeline is, but the left guard for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think I heard he had arthroscopic knee surgery.
Yeah,
so I think Shefty said he's going to try to be back for game one, which is insane to get like some sort of knee procedure and be back in like 3 weeks.
I know you might give that as a timetable, but like you can't have somebody rolled out there with the torn meniscus injury back week one, and which is 3 weeks from now. I don't see that. So what I mean by that is they lost Mekhi Becton, you know, in free agency. I think they lost him to the Chargers. Now your other guard, he's got a knee injury. I'm not saying that Saquon can't be Saquon, but like now, I think the percentage would be 40% of that offensive line that won you the Super Bowl is gone. That's tough, right? Like, can they replace it? We'll see. But at the end of the day, I think that was a huge injury for one of the best offensive linemen in the league to get carted off.
Well, if previous Super Bowls have taught me anything, the greatest quarterback I've seen in Patrick Mahomes lost 2 because his offensive line was not good. And in this league, if you don't have a great offensive line, you can't compete for a championship. And end of story. Actually, I have 2 other things I want to bring up.
Oh, one more. Yeah, then we can wrap up.
Bengals. I'm buying all the stock in Bengals offensive players in fantasy because that defense is
fucking
dog shit. Like, I think if you and me lined up on the field, D, and played 4 quarters of football against the Bengals defense, we might put up 10 points.
You can't allow Jalen Hurts to not be on the field, and you get dimed up by Tanner McKee, Dorian Finney-Smith. I know he's a basketball player, but like Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord. Like, I think he only made 1 pass, but like, you can't get dimed up from like 6th, 7th, and 8th stringers. Like, that's not good, because like, we know how bad the defense is. So it's not like the defense for the Bengals, the ones are just like, we're gonna kick up and not play. No, you need to get your ass on the field. And they're getting smacked by 5th and 6th stringers. Not good. That's what I wrote down. It's like, Zach Taylor's doing everything he can for that offense, but that defense is miserable.
It's tough when you're paying Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase what you're paying them. It's hard to fill the holes in the defense, man. And I'm not hating.
They're playing hardball with Henderson.
I'm not hating on people getting the bag. Like, you deserve to get paid if you're that great, but there's going to be problems on the other side of the ball if that's the case. If it's all on offense, that team's going to need to score 35 points a game to win. Like, any game.
I meant Hendrickson. Yeah. They're not paying him, and that's a problem. Like,
cheap ass Bengals. My last thing was you and me, at least you, mostly you. I was cool with it, but like, you are a true believer in Ashton Genty. Like, you are a true believer from the minute Boise got on the map last year. Like, this guy's the real deal. I am concerned about Ashton Genty, not because I don't think he's talented, but this Raiders offensive line is awful. It reminds me of watching when you go to play high school football and you have the varsity team play against the JVs, and the JVs try to run the ball in the varsity, and their offensive line just crumbles, and there's like 4 dudes around the running back trying to tackle him. That was half of Genty's carries in that game against the Seahawks. Like, I'm concerned about the health and just like the productivity of this Raiders team because the offensive line. Oof.
To be fair, I will wait on making that type of like decision on like being nervous about him or not, because Geno Smith wasn't really out there. When you got Aiden McConnell, is a little bit different as the passer, right? And then Cam Miller, I think, is the third string. When you see Genty out there, you kind of can go, hey, let's give him the Adrian Peterson treatment. Let's put 7 guys in the fucking box and force them to throw it. When it's Geno Smith, it's a little different, right? Like he can spin the ball, right? We know that he can throw. He's a little bit more mobile than those 2 guys. So I get what you're saying, but I think it would be a little bit too early, knowing that the guy that he had to his, in front of him, I guess, if he's in the backfield, but like to the side of him, if he's in shotgun, like those teams are going to gear up and try to stop him as a runner because they know that the quarterback situation is not good. So it's hard to judge running backs in the preseason just based off of that scenario itself.
Fair enough on him alone. I know you and me both will talk fantasy next time we meet. I'm a little skittish now.
I'm out on top 10 for Genty.
I'm not out on him fully, but like I'm not reaching Genty at all. All right. You have any last things on the preseason so far?
Nope. Last, I guess, note to have is we may not see Micah Parsons in the Dallas Cowboys uniform ever again.
Wait to see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out, but I think that time is gone now.
Cowboys doing Cowboys things, running the circus over there in Dallas. All right, this next segment, we're going to pivot away from the NFL, go to college football, but not like what's going on in college football today. I think this all stemmed from a conversation you and me had during a closing take, maybe last time we met a couple weeks ago. And we talked about Reggie Bush, and then we got down the rabbit hole of like, is he the best college football player of all? Then so the discussion we're going to have is like, since the year 2000, and we picked 2000 specifically because like there were some old college football players that I've never watched play, like Arch Manning, Tim Couch. I could bullshit you all day about how great they were, but I've never seen them play. I have no idea.
Chris Winkie.
Yeah. So like, I have a little tournament of the best college football players since the year 2000. I asked ChatGPT, because that's our thing, I guess, around here, to give me the 20 best college football players since the year 2000. It gave me like a little summary of like their accolades and why, they're worthy. So I have a tournament, and we got so carried in the conversation about NFL that I didn't actually prep any of the little prompts. But as I do this to buy me some time, do you have any thoughts about this tournament?
I'm looking forward to seeing how a computer ranks, like not just statistics, but like game impact. Because a lot of the times we can look at someone like a Tim Tebow, whose passing yards weren't the most, rushing yards weren't the most, maybe not the most touchdowns, but made an actual made an impact every Saturday that he played for the Florida Gators. So like, how do they measure that? I'm as a computer, like how the bots do it. Curious to see how they rank performance versus like the actual statistics.
All right, so I will then with that unveil our first matchup in this tournament. The 1 seed in this tournament was given to Reggie Bush by ChatGPT versus the 16 seed Tyrann Mathieu. So this is a good one for you because, I think the answer might be obvious, but it's 2 players I know you actually really, really, really love.
Yeah, this one, although it's an obvious answer, I think the better player is Reggie Bush. Tyrann Mathieu, had he been matched up against people in like the top 10, he might have taken him down. What Honey Badger was able to do his sophomore and junior year, like he was up there for running in the Heisman. He was doing things defensively and special teams wise that a lot of people weren't able to do. Covering your best wide receiver, playing safety, linebacker. He was up there as a gunner on punt. He caused block punts and returns for touchdowns. He was a punt returner and a kick returner. So he was on all facets of the ball when it comes to playing football.
Yeah, he was.
But Reggie Bush was just that fucking good, right? Yeah. So like
no brainer.
Yeah, this one's hands down Reggie Bush.
Okay, I figured that would be an easy one. All right. I think the first couple will be pretty easy because it's like 1s and 2s versus lower seeds. This is a fun one, though. Number 2, Tim Tebow in our tournament versus number 15, Colt Brennan. Which, like, Colt Brennan, I know it's a funny name, but, like, if you have never seen Colt Brennan play for Hawaii, do yourself a favor and just look up some Hawaii YouTube clips. This was back when the air raid offense was first being introduced into college football, where it's just like, I'm throwing every goddamn play and you're not going to stop me. I don't know what his passing statistics were in Hawaii, but Colt Brennan, I think he might be up there, if not the all-time passing leader in college football, up there in the top 5.
So I loved watching Colt Brennan because it was before Colt Brennan was Timmy Chang in Hawaii. And then Colt Brennan took that air raid offense to another fucking level. I think it was Colt Brennan and the dude from Missouri. I can't remember what his name is, but there's a quarterback from Mizzou that they were going head to head when it comes to like putting up the most passing numbers. Tebow is just the greatest when it comes to accomplishments, like being able to be the first at the time, the first freshman, albeit true freshman, first freshman to win the Heisman Trophy Award. Then he leads his team to 2 national championships. If Colt Brennan had something outside of playing in the SWAC, playing in the conference where there's nobody out there, I know that he led his team to I want to say it was a January bowl game. I'm pretty sure Hawaii played in a January bowl game when he was there. If he'd have done a little bit more accomplishment wise, you could see this be a closer matchup because of his statistics. But I think all he really did have going for him was like back-ended awards, like not the quarterback of the year, but like quarterback of the conference. It's like you fall short on accomplishments when somebody's winning Heisman's and national championships, obviously, even if you have the statistics.
And even with Tebow, I think his impact transcended the field. And I mean that as like he became the figure of college football at that time. So that's an easy one for me as well. All right, now we're getting to an 8-9 matchup, so it's closer in stature. So with ChatGPT, they gave us the 8 seed, Johnny Manziel, versus the 9 seed, Derrick Henry.
Oh, this is a good one. Bama football had both Heisman Trophy winners. Derrick Henry's one season that he started at Alabama was absolutely dominant. He has this one rush that he took up the right sideline, gave a little, if you haven't watched it, go YouTube it. He got to like the 10-yard line, stopped, back juked, and then went forward, all 270 pounds of him, and he juked the shit out of the defender. This is Derrick Henry we're talking about.
That's crazy.
But it does not compare to how good Johnny football was at Texas A&M. I think his ranking could go very far when it comes to upsetting, because I said Tebow was the first. He was then the second freshman to win the Heisman Trophy Award. And then what ended up going down as one of, if not the biggest upsets in college football, is when he beat Alabama on the road.
Yeah, I think
that game will get talked about for the eternity of college football, of a 5'10", he's not 5'10", but the little Mighty Mouse quarterback going into Tuscaloosa and beating Nick Saban and like the Derrick Henry type Alabama Crimson Tide.
I'm in full agreement with you. While Derrick Henry is phenomenal and a specimen and still amazing today, what Johnny football did at Texas, like you have to understand, Texas A&M they think they're football school, but in the SEC, like they're Texas A&M. They shouldn't be competing. And this little 5'10", 5'11" quarterback put Texas A&M on the map and made them contenders for championships. And again, I do think in this ranking, there should be, and I don't think ChatGPT takes this into consideration, there's something more transcendent about the stats and just like what you mean to college football at the time. And like when you did the money fingers, like he was a phenomenon during that time in college football.
There are people that have said that if NIL was a thing in the time, like we could just say since 2000, then it would have been Reggie Bush number 1, Johnny Football number 2. Like that's how transcendent he was. Like he was with like rappers. He was in music videos. He coined Johnny Football as a like copyright term. Like, you guys can't have that. I'm licensing that. Like everybody knew the money sign, right? Everybody knew. You talk anybody college football, you just go like this. They go Johnny Football because of what he was doing.
He is someone who fizzled out hard in the NFL, and the funny thing is, like, that fall was completely predictable.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't help that he was with the Browns, but yes.
yeah, the Browns ruined a lot of stuff. All right, next matchup: number 7 Adrian Peterson versus number 10 Trevor Lawrence.
You know, Trevor Lawrence has a national championship, and what he did at Clemson was great. He had T. Higgins, he had Travis Etienne, Justin Simmons or Isaiah Simmons, I think was like the linebacker slash safety that played. I think they had a really good team. I also think that they were coached by one of the best coaches in college football history. But I'm going Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah.
I'm setting this up like he was the most fierce running back. Like Adrian Peterson was so good, and I know this is like a little joke, but he was so good in a time where everybody wanted to be number 5, number 2, number 7, number 9. All these running backs with single digits. He said, "No, give me 28 because I'm a running back," and he just fucking like put that on his back and would run over everybody. He was what Leonard Fournette thought he was. No, Adrian Peterson ran through, over, on top of, juke sideways everybody in college football.
He's the closest thing I can compare to a Bo Jackson or Barry Sanders.
More Bo, but yes.
He is Bo.
He could juke, but he was running through you. Yeah. He was running through, like, I think he broke the record for most rushing yards in a season. Sorry, not most rushing, in like the Big 12, like in that conference. I could be wrong with that too. But like I know that when he was at Oklahoma, there's a lot of records that are under Adrian Peterson's name. Can't speak the same for Trevor Lawrence. I think he was gifted. I think he was talented. Great team around him. Give me Adrian Peterson all day.
Since Adrian Peterson's entered the league, can you think of a running back that would be more feared as far as like, I do not want to play that guy?
Derrick Henry?
But even Derrick Henry, like Derrick Henry.
Oh, you mean feared? Like, no,
like,
there is.
You want, like if you're a defensive coordinator, you look at your matchup and just go, "Fuck."
Nope. I don't think there is one. I don't think there has been one since him.
Yeah, like you could say Saquon because of how gifted he is, but he's not as like he is strong.
That's talent.
He is strong, but he is not as powerful in like as Adrian Peterson. He is the complete package.
Saquon is not trying to juke and then so like I know this is NFL, but like Adrian Peterson, when he was in the NFL, ran over a motherfucker for the Pittsburgh Steelers and then stepped on him to pick up another 20 yards. I think it might have been Ryan Clark. I could be wrong, but like he ran a human being over and then stepped on him to keep going, like for another 20 yards. He was doing that in college.
They don't make
like him. No, that he was a freakish specimen made out of a bottle when he got to the University of Oklahoma. So yes, no, give me Adrian Peterson over Trevor Lawrence.
They don't make him like that anymore.
No, not running back. I'll tell you that.
Next matchup. This is an interesting one. Number 5 seed Vince Young versus number 12 seed Marcus Mariota.
Ooh. You know, Mariota won a Heisman. Vince won a Heisman. No, Vince didn't win a Heisman. He missed out on it. Reggie Bush got it. Mariota didn't win the national championship. Vince Young did win. Mariota had a longer, more relevant career. Vince Young had a year and a half, the year that they won the national championship, and then the half of the season before. I think they lost 2 games that season. But I got to go Vince Young with this one just because of the way that he carried that Texas team was stacked, though. The amount of NFL players that came from that USC versus Texas game was ridiculous. But like he had Jamal Charles, I guess as running back. Like he had talent. But Vince Young carried that Texas Longhorns team. You put him on his back, and if that Heisman didn't go to Reggie Bush, it would have been a unanimous. If Reggie Bush was like in high school still, it would have been a unanimous, Heisman Trophy winner with a national championship to Vince Young.
I know sometimes you watch college football games or NFL games and you walk away saying like, man, that was one of like the best games I've ever seen. I think it's still underappreciated, that national championship game between USC and Texas. Like one of the greatest games in college football history. Like top 3 games.
Yep. I can 100% agree with you on that one because you had both teams that were undefeated, right? But you had the flashiness of a Southern California team with the Heisman Trophy winner, the previous Heisman Trophy winner before that, because they had Matt Leinart. You had Lindell White as the backup running back, who's a starter at every single school that he goes to outside of USC. Dwayne Jarrett as the wideout. Then you have their like Ray Mawaluga is the middle linebacker. Darnell Bing is the safety. Like, you had talent after talent after talent on the Southern Cal team. And then you had University of Texas, who they had the same talent, matchup for matchup, safety-wise, corners, wide receivers, running backs. And when they played, it wasn't a blowout and a comeback. It was we're scoring, you score. We stopped you, we stopped you. Like, it went back and forth all the way until literally 17 seconds left in the game. And, like, where we still thought Matt Leinart had a chance to win them the game. Like, after Vince Young ran for that touchdown, the game wasn't over. Like, a lot of people think that was a game-winning. It was eventually. But, like, USC still had a chance. And prequel to the prequel for the Super Bowl, if Pete Carroll doesn't do Pete Carroll shit that cost him a Super Bowl 15 years prior in that game, they maybe win that national championship. But instead of running the ball with Reggie Bush, he runs the ball with Lindell White. He takes Reggie Bush off the field. Lindell White gets stopped in the backfield. A lot of people say that's the reason why. Yeah, a lot of people are like, well, that's the reason why he didn't run it with beast mode, because, like, last time he did it, they lost, and then they lost anyway.
All right, number 6, Devonta Smith versus number 11, Lamar Jackson.
I think this is the one that you give the upset to.
Ooh,
because Devonta Smith, Devonta, however you want to pronounce it.
Heisman winner, was one of the first Heisman wide receiver for like a very long time.
He was always open. The motherfucker could create space. Devonta Smith never dropped a pass. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass against Georgia in the national championship. Like, Tua threw it to him. Great pass. Like, although, like, it was tough to watch, but, like, he beat the crap out of LSU that year that LSU beat them in Tuscaloosa. Like, Devonta Smith did his thing. But I don't think you understand what Lamar Jackson was able to do at Louisville. There was no other NFL player on that team. As a sophomore, he got himself a Heisman Trophy award. Like, the team won 8 games, but the fact that they were able to win 8 games is because they had Lamar Jackson back there. Like, he carried I'm talking non-NFL, like, irrelevant team. There wasn't a single drafted player from his, like, the time that he was there. Like, he was able to create the human joystick that we hadn't seen since Michael Vick. And that allowed people to go, wow, this is what an athletic quarterback, like this Michael Vick did what he did in the early 2000s so that Lamar Jackson could somewhat jog to what we now see in the NFL is a replica of, let's try to get an athletic throwing quarterback because of what he was able to do at the University of Louisville. So yes, this one, probably the only upset. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
I like that. All right, next one. 4 seed Cam Newton versus 13 seed Deshaun Watson.
We're not even finishing this. We're not even going to finish that statement. Just go to Cam Newton. That's Deshaun Watson. Great. Again, I can't remember the coach for the Clemson Tigers. I keep forgetting. But he benefited from a great team. And Deshaun Watson did great things, beating Alabama in the national championship. Cam Newton had single-handedly one of the best seasons in the history of college football. Capped off with a Heisman Trophy and a national championship, which a lot of people don't do both. He was able to do that.
And, you know, we talked just about the idea of Lamar Jackson taking a bunch of nobodies. That team did that. That team that Cam had was not very talented, and Cam took them to a national championship.
Not a single drafted NFL player from that team.
No, Cam was like one of the most game-changing college players we've ever seen. Period. Yes. End of story.
That season, when he played LSU, go watch the highlight. He has a run where he scrambles up the middle. He got hit in the legs, put his hand down. Usually, like when you do that, an SEC team can, circle the wagons. It's a tackle for, 5 yards. No, he got up, stiff armed somebody, and then sprinted for another 30 yards for a rushing touchdown. And I was like, I guess this isn't our year. Like he did that in LSU, and I was like, I guess this is the year that we just are not going to win because that guy is over there. And then lo and behold, 7 weeks later, he's bringing that team to a national championship. So yeah, Cam Newton, we don't even need to compare that to.
Last one in the first round. Number 3, Joe Burrow versus number 14, Baker Mayfield.
And this isn't even a homer. Baker Mayfield did a lot. If Baker stayed at one school, I know he won the Heisman, but if he stayed at Texas A&M and he did what he did at Oklahoma, that would be one thing. But the transferring of schools and then not winning a national championship, although he won a Heisman, I think that kind of pegs him back a little because Joe didn't have the greatest of junior years at LSU, but he transferred from Ohio State. Then he had one of the best quarterback seasons in the history of the game his senior year and won a national championship along with the Heisman. So yeah, if Baker won a championship, I think it would have been a little bit easier to make an argument for him, but just the Heisman, I don't think that's going to be enough to make an upset here.
All right, so we talked about all these guys at least once, so we'll go a little bit quicker in round 2, but just not too quick so I can't get the graphic up. Round 2, we got Reggie Bush back against number 8 seed Johnny Manziel.
Hate that he goes up against him. And I said that he would probably upset a lot of people, but he can't upset Reggie Bush, unfortunately. Not with this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about like impact on and off the field. While Johnny Manziel had that superstar impact, not many players touched what Reggie Bush could have done.
No, all-purpose yards. He played Fresno State and had over 530 yards. Just think about one running back that could have over 530 yards of all-purpose in one game. That is a career for some people.
Our other contenders are back. Number 7, Adrian Peterson versus number 2, Tim Tebow. You better do the right thing, D.
This one's tough.
Really, is it to you?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, he was one of the most feared. But I gotta go Tebow. Tebow was Tebowing, right? Doing the kneeling in the head, the arm on the head, like he was doing the things that he needed to do to be a college quarterback. He was the personification of what a college quarterback should be. Not everybody transitions into an NFL quarterback, but if you were to make a prototype college quarterback of what you wanted, being able to lead a team, you can pass and you can run, you can essentially like get people ready for the game because he hyped them up with these speeches and shit. That's what you would want. And Tim, as much as I hate him when he was at Florida, Tim Tebow was that.
I mean, Adrian Peterson, without a doubt, is the better football player.
Yes.
But as far as like legacy and impact of college football and how they perform in college football, you got to give it to Tim Tebow.
Yep.
This is where it gets really tough, D. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Vince Young versus number 4, Cam Newton.
It's the battle of who had the best season because they were both one and dones when it comes to what they were at their greatest. Vince Young left once he won the national championship. Cam Newton left when he won a national championship. I'm going to edge with Cam Newton on this one because not only did Cam win the Heisman, but Vince had much greater talent around him. Go look at that Texas roster. What I'm talking about,
Fair.
Michael Huff as a safety, like he dominated. He did really well when he was an Oakland Raider. Jamal Charles, we know how good he was as a running back. Like he had talent around him. There was no talent at the University of Auburn when they went on that run. It was Superman only. After being kicked out of wherever he was prior, going to JUCO and then coming back to the SEC to play, like that is not easy to do. And Cam Newton literally put the S on his chest and became Superman for that one season.
And to add to your point, I don't even think Vince Young was the epitome of college football superstar of his time because he played at the same time as Reggie Bush in that USC team. Well, whereas Cam Newton was the big story of college football at that time.
Yep.
All right, last matchup around number 2. Number 3, Joe Burrow versus number 11, Lamar Jackson.
It was an easy upset against Devontae Smith. But this one, I mean, what that LSU team was able to do because of Joe Burrow it won't be matched. We haven't seen that type of team, that type of talent, and Joe create talent around him because Justin Jefferson was a 2-star wide receiver. Jamar Chase was a 1-star wide receiver. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was not a highly recruited running back, and he got all of those guys jobs in the NFL. Like he made them great wide receivers. Lamar Jackson, go Go look at the tape.
Go
You
ahead.
think I'm kidding? Like, go look at it. I'm not just talking shit. Like, I'm being serious. Like, those guys were talented. He made them become first rounders.
Yeah,
because
Jamar Chase would have never been Jamar Chase without Joe Burrow.
he wasn't out there. He literally was going to be playing defensive back. Like, that's. I know you don't know the story behind it, but like he was recruited by Les Miles. This is how dumb he is to play defensive back, and Lamar Jackson. And then Jamar Chase was like, "Nah, I want to play wide receiver." So he's like, "All right, you're gonna sit the bench." And then Ed comes in and goes, "You're a fucking wideout. Let's put you on wideout."
He goes, you know what?
Put you on wide receiver, boy. Put you on wide receiver. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. I'd say Joe Burrow. Just he has the season that he had was much more of an impact than the couple of seasons that Lamar did. If Lamar won a championship, or if he won a January bowl game, that would be different. But because Louisville wasn't playing in those New Year's Eve 6 games, you got to give it to the guy that won on the road against Oklahoma, and then on the road in Texas, and then the national championship against Clemson.
All right, just a reminder for the audience, we're doing our little tournament of best college football players since the year 2000. We're at our final 4. D's picking the winners. And unsurprisingly, the top 4 seeds have all advanced to the final 4. Our top 4 remaining athletes are Reggie Bush, Joe Burrow, Cam Newton, and Tim Tebow. Which brings us to our first final 4 matchup, D. Better college football player, just college football. Number 1, Reggie Bush. Number 4, Cam Newton.
Fuck.
Because Reggie's your dude. But
I really wish that Cam was 3. Yeah. I really do wish Cam was 3. I don't think it's fair that he gets matched up against Reggie Bush. But just we're speaking strictly college football. It's Reggie Bush. It's a no-brainer as to how his sophomore year he was winning national championships, breaking 70-yard runs against Oklahoma. Like before people even knew who he was. He was breaking 70-yard touchdown runs against Oklahoma in the national championship game. Like, he was that damn good. And I know I just kind of brushed over it, but like the motherfucker had 530 yards against a team. Not involving the Notre Dame Bush push that helped him win, but like against Notre Dame in that same season, he had like over 300 all-purpose yards. So it's like you can't. When you think of the Heisman Trophy, you think of him hurdling somebody at UCLA and in midair doing the Heisman Trophy. Like that's insane to think about. So yeah, I'm going with Reggie Bush on this. I hate that I have to. I would much rather that be the finals than the quarterfinals.
I would say this: if you're a casual football fan, didn't really care about college football, and someone tells you Cam Newton's playing or Reggie Bush is playing, you can watch either games. In either respective times, people are tuning in to USC football to watch this Reggie Bush guy carry the rock. Like, he drew eyes because he was that special. So I'm with you. Number 1, Reggie Bush moves on. To see who's going to go to the finals against Reggie Bush, number 2, Tim Tebow versus number 3, Joe Burrow. It's a tough one, right? Because Joe Burrow, without a doubt, the more physically talented quarterback, better quarterback, period. That I think he set the record for the most passing yards in a season, correct? At LSU?
Oh, at LSU, yes.
Yeah. Like, what he put together at LSU was phenomenal. On the flip side, the dynasty that Tim Tebow led with Florida is one of the greatest runs in college football history. You can put it some of those Alabama teams, but just like the core of that team led by one person was one of the greatest runs. And just some of the moments, right, when they have that loss and he's crying in the locker room, say, I'm never going to let this happen again. And what do?
The press conference.
Win a national championship. Like, the aura around this dude. So this is a tough one, D. I'm wondering where you're going to go with this.
This isn't a tough one at all. It's Tim Tebow. Like,
okay. I know you love Joe Burrow. So
I'm a homer, 100%. And I would have rather have this been a matchup of Joe Burrow versus Cam Newton instead of Joe Burrow versus Tim Tebow, because Tim Tebow is hands down so much better than a Joe Burrow at college.
Okay.
Right? Because you're talking about the dynasty, and I love the fact that you brought that up. We didn't just – when I said he was a national champion, he won 2. He won 2, and he was a Heisman Trophy finalist every year that he was in college.
1 second. And not only did he win 2, we're not talking about the new age 2 where anyone gets in the tournament. No, we're talking BCS. You lose 1 game, you
Now-
might not have a shot. That's impressive.
There's no like return if you lost like week 1. You were just done. Like a computer system that it was, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss it. I do miss the I love the football, the playoff. Get me wrong with that, but I do miss the every Saturday mattered. Every Saturday, like crap. Like if we lose this game, our season is done. It just felt like it felt more impactful. And yes, in that era, Tim Tebow was lining up on Saturdays, whether they were winning or they were losing. He was making sure that his team was going to be fighting. And I remember the Florida State game, the blood suit game of like he fell on the Florida Seminole. It looks like it's all blood, but it's the red paint. And like him just catching the QB, it wasn't even a sneak. It was just a QB
jump pass?
dive. No, that one too. But like he just catches it from like the 3-yard line and just runs over everybody to go into the end zone. It's just like, dog, like, how do you stop that? Like how when that guy is like, I'm not going to lose. I have God on my side. I'm not going to lose to anybody. And like, all right, well, he's got him on his side. Shit, what are we supposed to do? So yeah, Tim Tebow. Love Joe. Joe had a great season at LSU. Won't be matched when it comes to quarterback play. But Tim Tebow, when it comes to better college football player, easily. Yeah.
All right, man. This gets real tough. Our championship is here, dude. Reggie Bush or Tim Tebow as the greatest college football player since the year 2000. And
So
before you give you a drum roll before you announce.
Yeah, go ahead. Reggie Bush was able to win a national championship, win a Heisman Trophy. Tim Tebow was able to win 2 national championships and a Heisman Trophy. But the best college football player of all time is Reggie fucking Bush. We kind of forget that the USC Trojans won 2 national championships, right? Like they were given.
Wait, Reggie doesn't have a Heisman. It was vacated.
He got it back.
I'm just fucking.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Like the awards that kid won when he was at the University of Southern California, like the Doak Walker multiple times, the Heisman Trophy. Obviously, he was an AP All-American first team every single year that he was a starter. He won the Walter Camp. Like he won everything that you could possibly win as an offensive player, not being a quarterback. Like that's how dominant Reggie Bush was. And like you said, the casual fan, people that didn't follow college football would know what he was doing. Like it was Hollywood. I remember, this is more personal too, but I remember that game versus Texas because everybody at Taunton High knew that I was a Reggie Bush fan. I wore number 5. Yes, that is the reason why I wore 5. It's because of Reggie Bush, my favorite player of all time. So is this list biased? Maybe. But everybody knew. And this is how impactful he was. That game that everybody watched, when I went to school the next day, there were motherfuckers that I didn't even know that were walking by and doing this. Because they, and for those that weren't watching, they threw the hook 'em horns because they tuned into that game. People that I didn't even know were walking around school. Hey, Fur, hook 'em horns, because like they tuned in to what became the greatest college football game in the history of sport. And in that game, he dominated. Like he wasn't like a shadow. He wasn't in at the best time, at the most important time. That's a coaching decision. But he had his rushing touchdown. He had a dumbass pitch fumble. Yes, I give you that. It was stupid. But like he still ran for over 100. He had a rushing touchdown. Like what more are you expecting from the Heisman Trophy winner? You know what I'm saying? Like that, what he was able to do for the 3 years that he was in the limelight was just absolutely insane. And that is not to discredit Tim Tebow, but Tim Tebow will proudly go down as the second best college football player in the history of the game. I'm not even talking about in the last 2000, since 2000. I'm talking about in the history of the game. Tim Tebow, to me, is, yes, number 2 for best college football player in the history of the sport.
When I think of these two guys, comparing the two, I think of Tim Tebow is the spirit of college football as far as like camaraderie and like team and like willingness to win. But on the flip side, I think of Reggie Bush in the same aspect as the spirit of college football as like the electricity and why it's exciting and fun to watch. So like both of these two men are what they stand for, what they did for college football is the epitome of why we watch the game.
100%. I could agree with you on that one. That's a good way to put it.
All right. I loved the segment. I'm glad you got to talk some college football, even though it wasn't today's football. We had fun. Let's get to closing takes and get out of here because you probably have like 105 fever right now. I go to the hospital.
Yeah.
The show is coming to an end. But first, it's time to get to anything we've missed. It's closing time. 1 segment, 2 takes. Now go.
All right, guys, closing takes. It's a chance for me and Dee to get off one last take before we get out of here for the day. I want to start off. I want to talk about, I know this is a weird time of the calendar, sports calendar that is, where NFL season hasn't fully kicked off. College football has not yet started as well. We're stuck watching baseball. Yuck, right? Sorry for baseball fans out there. But alas, basketball's coming back, D. Starting August 27th, running through September 14th, Eurobasket is back, baby. What is Eurobasket, D? It's like the Olympics for Europe basketball, essentially. All the countries in Europe will compete, at least the ones that qualified, for the championship of Europe. There were some great players in this competition this year. Nikola Jokic competing for Serbia. Giannis Antetokounmpo for Greece. Luka Doncic, Slovenia. You have the Wagner brothers. You have Alperen Şengün. You have, Denny Avdia is not great. Lauri Markkanen. Like, you have Kristaps Porzingis. Like, there are names that you know from the NBA. Very good names leading their team for the crown of Europe. So listen, it's all over there in Europe, which means, guess what, D? For us guys on the East Coast, you're going to watch basketball like 10 in the morning. It's awesome. I love it. It's a chance to get a little sports in the morning. Check out Eurobasket starting August 27th.
This is around the time that I was blowing money on FanDuel and the other one that people use was at
DraftKings?
DraftKings, yeah, because I was watching basketball at 10 a.m. while I was working. Like, oh yeah, Euro basketball. Let me go ahead and throw some bread on this one. I know I can't really watch it, but like I can see the box score. So it's cool that it's back, but no, I gotta stay away from it because if I watch it, I'm gonna start betting on it.
Like we see Giannis dominate in the NBA. Imagine him versus like the bums of versus England or like Croatia. Like it's kind of fun.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I got one that's football related, but not football related. I like big shouts to retired football players and their side jobs. So follow me with this one. We all know that Larry Fitzgerald was a great wide receiver, right? Incredible. He had more tackles than dropped passes, which is insane to think of. But now we have a newcomer in the photography world, and that man is Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch on the sideline is pure comedy. If you haven't got a chance to look at it, go social media, whatever you can, of the Seahawks. Who did they just play in the preseason game?
The Raiders.
Yes.
The Raiders.
Of like the guy, I think they had Michael or Martellus Bennett in the booth that were helping like the commentary. And like he's like FaceTiming them, like trying to call them as he's trying to do the job. And he's just like, dude, do your job. You have an NFL league pass, like you're an official photographer. Then like somebody like ran to the sideline and like almost ran into him and he like stiff armed him, like you can't do that. Like you're regular personnel now. But it's just funny because it's like, all right, man, like he's living his best life. So again, big shouts to those that are professional athletes and want to have or accomplish some type of side job. We all knew Larry Fitz was a great photographer. Now I'm gonna follow along the life of Marshawn Lynch as a photographer.
Is there anyone in the world that has more fun than Marshawn Lynch?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think he enjoys life and tries to enjoy it as much as possible. I don't think there's anything negative in his life.
Talk about like football things, like the best whatever of all time. Orchestrator of one of the greatest runs in NFL history against your Aints.
Yeah, that was the Beastquake run. I just remember like in that playoff game, I was like, all right, well, they're gonna tackle him. I will no, we'll tackle him here. I hope they tackle him. Dog, they didn't tackle him. And like the levels of disappointment each time. It's just like I cannot believe that we are getting sent home because of this 50-yard run that we could have tackled him in the backfield.
Run through a motherfucker's face.
And that's what he did.
Good show, D. I'm happy you powered through. I know you had a lot of football takes you want to get off, especially I know you were big on getting off some Shador Sanders takes. So we got him all here, man. Anything you want to tell the people before you get him out of here?
It might not be relevant next week, but we're glad that y'all were here. So thank you. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Oh,
Next week.
Sorry, 2 weeks.
Excellent.
Oh, so you guys are familiar with the schedule. For those that are listening now or listening tomorrow and watching now. Not next Monday, but August 25th, we will have our draft ADP ranking. So please be ready for fantasy football talk on the 25th as everybody's gearing up for their fantasy football drafts. It's usually the weekend after. I know a lot of mine are that weekend after. So please check in. When we say that we don't know sports, we're not lying. We don't know sports, but we do know a lot about we do know a lot about fantasy football.
Wait, we're a sports podcast. We say we don't know about sports.
Nah, bro, we talk shit. We think we know a lot about sports, but we don't. But we do at the same time. What I mean by that is we do a lot of in-depth ranking and analysis for you guys to get, first, second, third, whatever it is that you guys get paid out on in your leagues. We make sure that you guys can get some bread. So pay attention, lock in, bring your boards, bring your clipboards, everything that you got. We got you guys in 2 weeks.
Just don't take our actual football picks because they're trash.
No, yeah, if we're doing like betting, don't listen to us because we don't hit on those.
All right, get us out, May.
All right, people. Thank you for being here. I feel like crap, but told you I was going to power through it. So we appreciate y'all being here, listening to us live or listening to us tomorrow, whether you find us on any of our platforms. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on X. You can find us on our website, frizandthegrizz.com. I'm pretty sure we now have a TikTok. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We have ourselves a TikTok. So find us on
At
all
Frizz and the Grizz on TikTok. Find that.
At Frizz and the Grizz. You can find some incredible clips of all these takes that we have where people can yell at each other because they think somebody's better than the other. But I love it. Social media is incredible. Please, especially in a time like this, y'all make sure that y'all take care of y'all mental. Ooh, be a friend. Say something nice. You never know what it could do for someone. Make sure y'all take care of y'all mentals. Please take care of y'all physicals. Take care of y'all chicken, y'all cheering, and we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.
That's when it just clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over again. They're just not gonna want that.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a motherfucker face.